Your car is hiding things from you. Not on purpose. But every single day, that machine in your driveway is quietly costing you money, wasting your time, and in a few cases putting you in real danger, all because nobody ever showed you the small tricks that change everything. Some take 10 seconds. Some could save you a $1,000 repair. And one, number 13, could genuinely protect your neck in a crash, yet most people set it up completely wrong without ever realizing it. I've got 15 for you. The kind of thing mechanics quietly use on their own cars but rarely explain. Stick around, because the further we go the better they get, and the last 3 are the ones you'll wish you'd known years ago. Let's start with something your hands touch every single drive, that you've almost certainly been doing the hard way. Trick number 1. The one-tap turn signal. Here's a small one that instantly makes you look like you've been driving for 30 years. When you change lanes on the highway, how do you use your blinker? Most people push the stalk all the way until it clicks, then reach back and cancel it by hand. There's a better way, built right into your car. Just tap the stalk lightly, without clicking it all the way into place, and let go. On almost every car built in the last 20 years, that single tap flashes your signal 3 times on its own, then shuts off automatically. 3 clean blinks, perfect for a lane change, and your hand never leaves the wheel. It's smoother, it's safer, and it kills that annoying blinker that keeps ticking long after you've changed lanes. And speaking of things nobody ever told you about your car, the next one could save you the day your key fob dies. Trick number 2. What to do when your key fob dies. Picture this. You walk up to your car, press the fob, and nothing happens. The battery inside is dead, and with push-button start you might figure you're stranded. You're not, and there are 2 things almost nobody knows. First, getting in. Look closely at your fob and you'll find a small hidden latch. Slide it, and a real metal key pops right out, tucked inside the whole time. That key unlocks your driver's door by hand, dead battery and all. On a lot of cars the keyhole is hidden under a little cap on the door handle, so pop that off and there it is. Second, the one that surprises people, actually starting the car. Even with a dead fob, push-button start still works. On most cars you hold the fob directly against the start button, or a marked spot on the steering column, and press. The car reads the chip inside up close, no battery required, and it fires right up. Your owner's manual shows the exact spot. So a dead fob is a 5-minute annoyance, not a tow truck. The next one, though, is one of the most useful tricks in your whole car, and almost everyone does it exactly wrong. Trick number 3. WD-40 and your wipers, done the right way. You've probably seen this one online. Streaky, chattering wipers, and somebody says just spray WD-40 on them and they'll be good as new. Here's the problem. That advice, the way it usually gets shared, will actually ruin your wipers faster. Standard WD-40 is a water displacer. It's petroleum-based, and petroleum is not friends with rubber. Spray the classic blue and yellow can straight onto your wiper rubber, and over just a few uses it dries the rubber out, cracks it, and strips the graphite coating that lets the blade glide silently. You get streaks, skipping, and that awful squeak, the exact problems you were trying to fix. But the trick isn't fake, you just have to do it right. First, if your blades are only dirty and streaking, don't spray anything yet. Take a damp microfiber cloth and wipe the full length of the rubber edge. You'll be shocked at the black grime that comes off, and 9 times out of 10 that alone brings a dead wiper back to life for free. Want the extra step? Skip the original formula and use a silicone-based lubricant. WD-40 even makes one, their specialist silicone spray, and silicone is safe for rubber. But here's the key. Never spray it on the blade directly, and never near the glass. Spray a little onto a rag, then wipe it along the rubber. That keeps the blade flexible and kills the chatter, without coating your windshield in an oily film that smears every time it rains. Do it that way and your wipers glide clean and quiet. Trick number 4. Kill your blind spot with your mirrors. Most drivers set their side mirrors so they can see the side of their own car. Feels natural. It's also wasting the mirror. If you can see your own doors, you've created a giant blind spot right where another car likes to hide. Here's how engineers intended it. Sit normally. Lean your head until it almost touches the driver's window, then set the left mirror out until you can just barely see the edge of your car. Now lean the same distance to the right, over the console, and set the right mirror the same way. Sit back up and you won't see your own car anymore. That's the point. Now a car passing you slides from your rear view, into your side mirror, into your peripheral vision, with no gap. No more surprises when you change lanes. It feels strange for a day, then you'll never go back. Next up, that fogged windshield, and the fastest way to beat it. Trick number 5. Defog your windshield in seconds. Cold, damp morning. Your windshield fogs up on the inside, you wipe it, and 30 seconds later it's back. Here's the trick. Fog forms when warm, moist cabin air hits the cold glass. To beat it you need 2 things at once, and most people only do one. Turn your heat up and turn your air conditioning on at the same time. The heat warms the glass so moisture stops condensing, and the AC pulls humidity out of the air before it can fog anything. Then the critical step. Pull in fresh outside air, not recirculate. Recirculate just cycles the same damp air over and over, exactly what you don't want. Fresh air, heat, and AC together, aimed at the glass, and your windshield clears in seconds instead of minutes. Now let's talk about a repair you're probably overpaying a shop to do. Trick number 6. Change your cabin air filter yourself. If your AC smells musty, or the airflow feels weak no matter how high you crank the fan, the culprit is often a filthy cabin air filter. Here's the part that stings. A lot of shops charge $60, $70, even $100 to swap it. The filter costs around $15, and the job takes 5 minutes. In most cars, it lives right behind the glove box. Open the glove box, squeeze the sides so it drops all the way down, and you'll see a plastic cover. Pop it off, slide the old filter out, note which way the airflow arrow points, slide the new one in the same direction, and close it up. Do this once a year, or every 15,000 miles, and your AC blows harder, smells cleaner, and your defroster works better too. One little rectangle of paper, and you kept $100 in your pocket. The next one is a button you might have been afraid to touch. Trick number 7. When to turn traction control off. There's a button in almost every modern car showing a little car with squiggly skid lines under it. That's traction control, and most people never touch it because they assume turning it off is dangerous. 99% of the time, leaving it on is exactly right. But there's one situation where it's working against you. Here's what it does. When it senses a wheel spinning faster than the others, on ice or wet pavement, it cuts engine power and gently brakes that wheel to stop the slip. On the road, that's brilliant. It keeps you from fishtailing. But now imagine you're stuck. Snow, mud, deep sand, a slick boat ramp. Here you actually need a little wheel spin to dig down and find grip. With traction control on, the second a wheel slips the system chokes the engine and breaks the wheel. So you press the gas, the car just sits there refusing to give you power, and you go nowhere. That's the moment to press that button and switch traction control off. Now you can feed in throttle, let the wheels spin just enough to bite, and rock yourself free. The instant you're on solid ground, turn it back on. It resets automatically when you restart anyway. So the rule is simple. On for driving. Off only when you're genuinely stuck and need the wheels to work. Now let's talk about the 4 round things holding your whole car off the ground. Trick number 8. The tire pressure secret most people get backwards. Where do you find the correct tire pressure for your car? If you said the number on the tire's sidewall, that's a common mistake. That big number is the maximum the tire can hold, not the pressure your car is designed to run. The right number is on a sticker inside your driver's door jamb, sometimes the fuel door or the manual. That's the figure the manufacturer engineered for your exact vehicle, balancing grip, comfort, braking, and fuel economy. And here's the secret within the secret. Always check pressure when the tires are cold, before you've driven or after the car's sat a few hours. Driving heats the air, hot air expands, so you get a falsely high reading and end up underinflated. Underinflated tires wear faster on the edges, waste gas, and can overheat and fail at highway speed. No gauge handy. The penny test checks tread. Put a penny in the groove, Lincoln's head down. If you can see the top of his head, your tread is dangerously low and it's time for new tires. Next, a habit that quietly protects your air conditioning for years. Trick number 9. Run your AC in winter. Here's one almost nobody thinks about. Even in the dead of winter, Run your air conditioning for about 10 minutes every couple of weeks. Sounds pointless, right? Cold air when it's freezing out? It's not about the cold. Your AC is full of seals and O-rings that stay soft thanks to a lubricant circulating with the refrigerant, but only when the compressor is actually running. Let the system sit for months and those seals dry out, shrink, and start to leak. Come summer, your AC is weak or dead and you're looking at an expensive recharge. 10 minutes every couple of weeks keeps everything lubricated and the seals happy, and it helps defog your windows too. A tiny habit now saves a big bill when the heat returns. Speaking of habits, the next one is something you might do every cold morning that your engine doesn't actually need. Trick number 10. Stop idling to warm up your engine. If you start your car on a cold morning and let it idle 5 or 10 minutes before driving, thinking you're being kind to the engine, I've got news. On any modern fuel-injected car, that's not helping. It wastes fuel and can actually cause more wear. This idea comes from the old days of carburetors, when engines needed to warm up to run smoothly. Today's cars have computers and fuel injection that handle cold starts instantly. And here's what engineers know. An engine idling in place warms up very slowly, and while it's cold it runs a richer mixture, so you're just dumping extra fuel that washes past the cylinder walls. The healthiest way to warm your engine is to start it. Give it 30 seconds for the oil to circulate, then drive gently. Under a light load the engine, transmission, and drivetrain all warm up far quicker. Just keep the revs low for the first few minutes until the temperature gauge starts to climb. The only exception is scraping ice, where you need the defroster anyway. Otherwise, 30 seconds and go. Now, the next trick isn't about saving money. It's about a situation you hope you never face, but absolutely need to know. Trick number 11. If your accelerator ever sticks. This sounds unlikely until it happens to you. Your accelerator sticks. Maybe a floor mat slides forward and jams the pedal, maybe the throttle hangs. Suddenly the car is speeding up and the brake doesn't seem to be winning. People panic here, and panic is what turns it into a tragedy. Here's what to do, simple enough to remember under stress. Shift into neutral. That's it. Neutral disconnects the engine from the wheels. The engine might roar because it's still getting gas, but no power reaches the wheels, so the car stops accelerating and you can brake normally and steer to the shoulder. Do not turn the key off while moving. On many cars that locks the steering wheel or kills your power steering and brakes, and now you've got a bigger problem. Just neutral, brake, then pull over and shut it down. One prevention tip. Never stack a second floor mat on the factory one, and keep your mats clipped down. An unsecured mat sliding under the pedal is one of the most common causes of this. And the next trick is another emergency with one counterintuitive fix, one that can save your engine on a hot day. Trick number 12. If your engine overheats, do this. You're stuck in stop-and-go traffic on a hot day, and you glance down to see the temperature gauge creeping toward the red. Your engine is overheating, and if it gets too hot, you're looking at a warped cylinder head or a blown head gasket, easily a few $1,000s. Here's the counterintuitive move that can actually save your engine. Turn your heater on full blast. Hottest setting, fan on high. On a hot day, that's the last thing you want. Your heater works by pulling heat out of the engine's coolant and dumping it into the cabin. So cranking the heat turns your heater core into a second radiator, dragging dangerous heat away from the engine and buying you precious time to get somewhere safe. Yes, the cabin will feel like an oven. Roll the windows down and deal with it, then pull over and shut the engine off to let it cool. And one hard rule, never open the radiator cap or coolant reservoir while the engine is hot. That system is under pressure, and you can get a face full of scalding coolant. Let it cool completely first. That one trick, heat on high, has saved countless engines in traffic. Now we're into the final 3, the ones I really want you to remember. The next one might save your neck. Literally. Trick number 13. Adjust your headrest to actually protect you. Let's clear something up right now. That padded thing behind your head is not a headrest. Its real name is a head restraint, and it's not there for comfort. It's a safety device engineered to save you from one of the most common and most misunderstood injuries in a crash. And most people have it set completely wrong. Here's the injury it prevents. In a rear-end collision, your car lurches forward, your seat pushes your body forward, but your head, if it's unsupported, snaps backward violently. That whipping motion is whiplash, and it can wreck the soft tissue in your neck and cause pain that lasts for months or years. The head restraint exists to catch your head early and stop that snap. But it only works if it's positioned right, and this is where almost everyone fails. 2 rules. First, height. The top of the restraint should be level with the top of your head, or at the very least the tops of your ears. Not down around your neck, where a lot of people leave it, because a low restraint becomes a pivot point and can actually make a neck injury worse. Second, and people almost never get this one, distance. The restraint should be as close to the back of your head as you comfortably can, ideally 2 inches or less.
Why?
Because the farther your head travels backward before the restraint catches it, the more force builds up, and the worse the whiplash. A restraint sitting 4 or 5 inches back is barely doing its job. So next time you're in your car, take 10 seconds. Raise that restraint so the top lines up with the top of your head, and slide it forward close to your head. In the crash you never see coming, it's the difference between walking away sore and a neck injury for years. 2 more to go, and the next one quietly protects one of the most expensive parts of your car. Trick number 14. Use your parking brake to save your transmission. Here's a habit almost no one has, and it protects a repair that can run you thousands. When you park an automatic, what stops it from rolling? Most people assume it's just park. But inside your transmission, park is a single small pin called the parking pawl that drops into a gear to lock the wheels. On flat ground, no big deal. On any slope, that entire heavy car rests its full weight on one little pin. Over time, especially on hills, that stresses the pawl. You've probably felt it, that clunk when you shift out of park on an incline, the way the car lurches before it releases. That's the strain letting go. Here's the trick. When you park on a slope, do it in this order. Press the brake, shift to neutral, set the parking brake firmly, then shift into park and release the brake. Now the parking brake holds the car's weight, not that little pin. When you leave, it slides out of park effortlessly, no clunk, no strain. Do this every time and you take years of wear off your transmission for 0 cost. Now, the last trick is a simple habit that protects an expensive part you'd never think about, right up until the day it leaves you stranded. Trick number 15. Never let your fuel tank drop below a quarter. Here's a habit that saves you one of the most annoying, expensive breakdowns there is, and almost everyone gets it wrong. Do you run your car down to the last few miles before you fill up, treating that low fuel light as your cue to finally find a gas station? If so, you're slowly killing a part most drivers never even think about. Your fuel pump lives inside the gas tank, submerged in the fuel itself. That's not an accident. The gasoline surrounding the pump is what keeps it cool and lubricated while it runs. So when you constantly drive on a near-empty tank, that pump runs exposed, hotter and harder, wearing out years faster than it should. A failed fuel pump can run several $100s, plus the tow when it dies and strands you. And there's a second problem. Dirt and sediment settle at the bottom of your tank over time, and a pump running near empty starts sucking up that gunk, clogging the fuel filter. The fix costs you nothing. Just make a habit of refueling when you hit about a quarter tank, instead of waiting for the warning light. Your fuel pump stays cool, stays clean, and lasts far longer.